All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Orb on the Movements of the Earth, episode 22. Caleb, put your mustache on.
I know.
It's time to roll.
It's time to ball.
It's time to die.
It is time to die.
Let this be the hour where we draw swords together.
And maybe the book can get out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the surrender to fate here.
Yep.
I love the, I don't accept your 50-50 coin toss.
Yep, just turns it over.
Turns it over.
Is that an order? Or is that a suggestion?
No.
Nope, it's an order. Fuck yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Now, we got reminded to us that flashback from the previous episode was Fry's or Frey's.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah.
You bamboozled us
It's
story.
a little bit of a fake out, but yes, we understand
but that's
the point there.
I gotta say.
Do you see this righteous cross?
Yep. I really appreciate that because it's very difficult to give perspective on an antagonistic figure, right? And you don't want to cut the tension.
When they're a twist antagonist.
When they're a twist antagonist, especially, and you don't want to cut tension by being like, right before they die, let's go into all this backstory. It's like, no. We give that to you beforehand and you don't even realize it, but it still works at the time that we got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, all right, y'all, church is here. So, without further ado,
Deus Vult.
Yeah, let's get into this. Okay.
Oh, that's right, because they got the big shields and stuff, too.
Yeah. Do you want to take their names, maybe? There we go. Yeah, that's the name that's important here. Yeah, reach deep into your soul. Yeah. Yeah. So you can fight like you can believe in me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give them hell.
Oh. Just someone so willing to die like that. Whoa.
Okay.
And a little bit of humanity was really cool, like to show that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care how you interpret it. Another day. Yeah.
Ooh, I also like this because since they can't just run immediately, they have to wait for the fighting to start.
Yeah.
Oh shit, let's go!
No.
Oh god. Nice. Oh, that's so cool. Oh! Just like that. Just like that.
Smart. That's gonna take time, though. Oh.
Awesome. Mano y mano.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Whoa. For the first time. I'm probably gonna die, but you know what?
Yep. Oh, shit.
Oh!
Awesome.
Lessening the odds.
Oh!
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 Wait!
Oh,
What
shit!
a tactic!
Oh! And Novak's old!
Yeah, everybody's dismounted. If you go fast,
Okay.
it's just this guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah, rattle him a bit.
But even so,
Alright.
he's almost like praying to God, like,
Yeah.
forgive me, God, for what I have to do.
Done.
One move. One move.
Okay. Fuck. Oh, shit.
Oh!
Yeah.
Kill him!
Okay. No, that's good because, yeah, a throwing weapon like that. Oh, shit.
Oh!
Okay. Alright. Okay,
Wow.
that's it. Fuck. Yeah.
Even so.
Damn. What a man. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
He's still old as balls.
Still old and also had a near one there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's enough. Whoa.
Whoa. Oh, shit. I love it.
Oh
Play to
my
this dude's
gosh.
greed, make him betray the church.
Yeah. Dang. So she kicked off the horse and then walked
Yeah.
to send him on the wrong trail, but he's going the right way now.
今や市民は宗教ではなく娯楽を欲している。大道芸から処刑に至るまで貪るように群がる彼らの熱気を知ってるでしょう。文字は思考に直接届く表現だ。
Yeah.
市民が読みやすくすればきっと病みつきになる。印刷機の使用と本の発行許可をもらいたいんです。必ずや損はさせません。
で、その本の内容は
Here's the tough part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
平たく言うと地球の運動についてです。
Wow.
お話ししたいのはここからだ。
It's
考えてみてください。歴史上、地動説が弾圧された前例を聞いたことがありますか？
君を監獄に送る前に教えてやるが、地動説はかつて私の父が何人も裁いた。
not bad.
弾圧の民、よそで弾圧の話は聞いたことがない。
やっぱり私も初めて知ったとき危ういと思っ
Okay.
た。確かに宇宙論は神の創造に抵触する我々、逆に慎重になりさえすれば必ずしも禁止されるべきものではないのではないですか。そしてそれは刺激的な娯楽。
Right. Because it's like, ooh, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
something,
yeah.
Something new. Yeah.
要するに君の考えでは、地動説が異端かどうかは時の権力者の裁量によっていくらでも変わる。
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
私は風向き次第ではいくらでも君を切る。
Right.
It won't.
肝心の利益の
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, that's all we're talking about? Oh.
70-30.
5対5で。
冗談言うな。私の歩み寄りを考えろ。
Mm-hmm.
8対2だ。話はまとまったな。
ありがとうございます。発行に際して
Uh-huh.
いつ手紙を出したいのですが。
Oh.
Yeah.
では、
Yeah.
私の電車バトを使え。
Oh.
協力しているものだ。
Oh. Oh.
Okay.
電車の足跡を追ったらどこへ向かった？え？教会の方へ。ここらで強い酒を。
I need a.
Yeah. I love it because he doesn't have any people with him right now. He's old.
Yeah. He's going to take a breather, relax a little bit.
And this is where he can learn the truth.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I remember you.
Yeah. And whoa.
Holy shit.
Your whole life.
What your daughter was burned for.
Yeah. He's about to have an Askeladd moment.
Uh-huh.
Like,
君は地動説の何が問題だと思う？
that's not important. You've...
Uh-huh.
分かってないならはっきり言おう。人を異端と呼び拷問し殺すならその理由に正当性があるの。
Coming from you.
Holy fuck.
血は固く捉えられ動かされることはない。あるいは世界は固く据えられ決して揺らぐことはない。しかし冷静に考えるとわかるが、これらは地動説を排斥する絶対的。
That's true, but this is rich coming from you.
唯一の真理と主張するのは危ういかもしれんが、単純に数学的過程としての発想だ。
All along, all these years.
万に一つ大地が実際に動いているとしても、その前提で聖書を読み直し、再解釈に努めるのが我々の役目だ。
Proper based, yeah. Good thing to say, but...
Wow.
それにむしろ太陽が中心であるという地動説の考えは三位一体の自然学的な裏付けとも捉えられる。
Yeah. Yeah.
ああ、私の父は宇宙論に厳しかったな。あるところに宇宙論に特別厳しい権力者がいて、運悪く彼の管轄内で地動説。
Yep. That perpetuated this
Yeah.
hatred and hunting down of people like that. Yep.
そしてその汚れ仕事は修道会出身の通常の異端審問官ではなく外部のもの。
Wow. And that's why they use you.
Holy shit.
一部の人間が起こしたただの勘違いだったということになる。
Oh my god.
So my daughter
Yeah.
was killed
Yeah.
because, yeah, time for some voice acting. Yeah. Their names. Their names.
Uh-huh.
And he hasn't even gotten to
Yep.
say her name for Draka. Yeah. He didn't say her name.
Oh
no!
my god, he's never gonna know.
君の宇宙論関係は非公開処刑。
Oh my god.
Holy
The
shit.
betrayal. Even though he was
Yeah.
doing heinous shit.
君の記録が残ってるか調べさせ、見つけ次第処分しろと指示。指導説と迫害を実行した。この世で私だけ。君や君が担当した異端者たち。君らは歴史の登場人物じゃない。
That is
I am
savage.
shook.
What a way to have comeuppance on Novak.
All right.
That was beautiful.
That
Holy
was-
shit.
That was something that reminded me of like Askeladd at the end of season 1 of Vinland Saga, just having that moment where his world comes crashing down around him, and it's like you have a choice here now.
Yeah.
Like he basically, instead of like getting violent with it, he just screams at this of like, you're telling me all those people I killed, my own daughter
Yeah.
who I let die.
Yeah.
Because you guys had a
Yeah.
misunderstanding at the higher up level of things here.
Yep.
And you don't know that for sure. You're just like, no, that could make sense. In fact, it does kind of make sense, given that he's bringing up that No, it's not actually a thing that's being generally suppressed. It's actually just a thing that's being locally handled here.
Yeah, in other areas.
And probably because, in a lot of ways, just in a lot of ways, it's one of many theories. It's not It's not super special. It's not like the only other, conflicting view of the Ptolemaic model.
And also just the idea that because this show has spanned a decent amount of time,
Right.
that the opinions of one person in a time where information don't exactly travel too great,
Right.
records can just be like, oh yeah, we found the record. I sent men to find the records and destroy them. Right?
Yeah, because they're in one place.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And there wouldn't be that many records anyways.
Yeah.
Because who cares, right? Like you were given so much leeway to do what you wanted.
Books are barely even a thing right now. Like,
right. And then to on top of that be like, if one leader of the church in not even a leader of the whole church, but just a leader within the church decided to have something be done, doesn't mean we all have to agree with that.
It doesn't mean also that even this is actually a really fun, crazy thing you could get into as well. It doesn't even mean necessarily that because it's being suppressed over here, that it's thriving in other places.
Sure.
The fact that it's actually being suppressed here might be actually some small part of the reason why it's being fought to be protected so fiercely.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Is that some of the astronomers back at that time saw the immediate kind of pivot of the suppression and were like, whoa.
Hang on.
Whoa,
Is there something to look into here?
Yeah. And then their eyes turn towards it even more.
Yeah.
Human nature takes effect.
Yep. This is, I love that
Oh my
Novak is
gosh.
being beaten with words, because it would have made total sense for Schmidt to just beat him in a fight, right? He's way younger than him. He'd kick his ass,
Now,
right?
Yeah, and the way they explained that away was, Novak came with two.
Novak came with two dudes, and no, just because you throw a knife at a guy and hit him in the chest and he falls off his horse, that does not mean that he is dead,
Now,
right?
That's a short blade.
Yep.
It probably punctured his lung.
Yeah, and
his ribs,
Yeah.
It probably slipped in and did massive damage.
Right,
But he's going to wake up in 5 seconds after the shock of falling off his horse.
Right,
Which is probably
exactly.
what did the most immediate thing to take him out of the fight.
Yep. But yeah, if Novak, manages to get the jump, right?
Recover from his own,
Yeah, because he's an old man. Oh, I, got knocked off my horse and everything.
hit his
got
skull pretty hard.
cut on the head, yeah. Then he just stabs you through the back of the throat, and that's it. Like, I love how righteous Novak felt all the way up until the very end, where Anthony doesn't even seem concerned that Novak will resort to violence, right? And of course, he's a talker,
Yeah,
So,
he's a bishop. He has a lot of power and authority.
well, and he would know that he can't show fear, right? Like that if he basically shows some element of weakness, then that might give Novak the sense to do something.
Because this is the other thing. Novak's doing this because it's his job.
Right.
He's not doing this entirely. I will bring this up.
It's definitely become personal, but it's still his job.
Right, and it's more that, in a lot of ways, the aspect of this becoming personal is more so that there's a lot of pain associated with this. It's not that I would say he hates every single person who practices heliocentrism.
Nah.
It's that, no, heliocentrism killed his daughter.
Right.
That in his mind, yes, the church is responsible for the ones that dealt out the death here, but he's been killing people and torturing people in this regard for a long time.
The thing that I thought would happen once he got that news of like, oh, he'll end up turning against the church or something, didn't happen.
No.
He did not blame the church. He
turned to drinking.
He turned to drinking and all that stuff, and maybe quit his job after that because he couldn't exactly, do it with the same vigor and tenacity.
And maybe there also weren't that many people that he was needing to hunt because, it took some time before it came back up again.
But the idea that after all of this, the very person who told him the lie, right, that set up this whole thing, that did take his daughter from him, right? Then it's like, what? Why are you so mad, bro? it was just a prank. Like what you were doing wasn't even necessarily needed. It wasn't even necessarily the will of God or the church or whatever.
After all this time, I've investigated and found that, because I want money, because I want power, because I want influence, I cared actually about the nitty-gritty of what we were doing.
Right.
Like, there's an element in this that could be very fascinating from a subject of their morality and their faith in the idea that the bishop could say, like, and I'm responsible too. I ended up putting you and others into situations where I made them die.
Sure.
For the service of this thing that ended up potentially not even being false. It's just a theory. So I'll have to answer to, God, basically.
But I'm okay with that.
But I didn't actually do the killing. We contracted that out.
Exactly. Whether it's I love that detail of you're not actually like officially like part of the clergy.
That's why and I love that this is all his speculation.
Sure.
He doesn't know any of this. He's basically saying, it makes sense now looking back why all these things were kept confidential, why the killings were off the books and no records were kept afterwards.
Right.
Why the reasons why they were being executed was also wrong. Like it was actually being misnoted.
Yeah. Why you need the buzzword of heretics so that way when you have people burning at the stake in the town square, you can be like, well, there were a bunch of heretics.
Well, right. We gave them an order specifically to drop what they were doing and stop that. And because they didn't do that, regardless of what it was they were doing, then now
they're enemies
heretics.
of the church.
They're enemies of the church. We should kill them, torture them, and find out anybody others who might do that.
Yep.
Wow. Hubert, Rathal, Oxy, Bodany.
And that's just the named characters that we got. Yeah, and I love that. I love it so much. He couldn't even
say his daughter's name.
He couldn't even say his daughter's name. And the thing is, if he had, then Draka could have said something. But
I'm excited. I'm excited for the follow-up with this. Because in a lot of ways, we can still have that conversation.
Right.
There's more episodes in the show where we could have that conversation.
Well, and what I was almost thinking is that because the daughter's name wasn't mentioned, right? Now, you're right. Yes. But I think Anthony would know enough not to do this because then he'd just piss off Novak and try to kill him or whatever. Yeah, never let him know that was the case, But I had this image in my head of what if then Novak learned that Yolenta didn't die that day, right? But he didn't know that like she blew herself up and all that. And so he spends the rest of his old age searching for someone that doesn't exist anymore. Like just as a way, that if the show wanted to.
So he found out that she didn't die, she wasn't executed, and then he goes on a search looking for her, and
but she's already dead.
She's already dead.
Yeah, and with no body.
So how would she be told about that in a way that would make sense, though?
It wouldn't. It was a thought that I had in the middle of the episode because I was just like, damn, this is such a good way to like take everything from him, like destroy him. Know, I was like, what's the one way that this could get worse?
He's already had like his heart taken away from him. So
absolutely,
it is actually really impressive to see him show this much restraint because he's not a violent man. I think that's the part that is such a fascinating. It's contradiction within Novak is that he has murdered, executed, tortured, and hunted people his entire life. And yet I wouldn't call him a violent man.
Yeah, it's the thing of while he might take pride in his work, that doesn't mean that he does it just because he enjoys it or whatever. And I think that's why it's important to have that be a distinction, because then going back to the other two inquisitors that were like working with him, right? And the whole thing of like, oh my God, this feels wrong. Should I do this?
They felt the queasy stomach, I can't do this.
Right, and that's why it's important to remember that because it comes down to the decisions that you make, right?
Right.
Even if, Novak could have absolutely led a peaceful life, right?
Which he did.
Which he did for a decent amount of time,
You could say that he did because in a lot of ways, everything at work had nothing to do with Yolenta.
Oh yeah, he was able to raise his daughter.
He was able
in
to
peace.
hold both of these worlds in a perfect stable orbit of each other,
for a while.
if you will.
Yeah,
If you will.
uh-huh. But
Problem is, both of them were moving.
right.
And you thought only one of them was the one you had to keep kind of control
Exactly.
over.
Yeah. Oh man, like this is so good.
The
How do you have it continue after this?
well,
like,
there's so many things you could do. There's so many
Sure.
things you could do. So many things you could do.
because I could see like
part-
the next episode of like
the part,
resolution.
Well, the
of
part
all
we need
this.
to talk about now is just Draka's whole gambit here, because this is way different than what I thought was going to happen here. She's gone to the person who has enough power and influence to be able to make this happen, but specifically somebody that saw the genius in her,
Yep.
was about to try and take hold of that before she was whisked away by everybody. So she's come all the way back full circle with her mentor,
Yep.
who was basically trying to set her up to be given away for some money.
And guess what? It worked.
And now she's come back to that person with like, I'm not giving you me, but I also am kind of giving you everything I have.
Yep.
So I
it
want
was
a
a
deal.
ballsy as hell
I
move.
want a deal that's going to give me security, safety, potentially more money that I'll know what to ever do with, and also like put myself at your mercy. There's a very interesting kind of play to his power, if you will, here by her doing this. But she did basically say, "Hey, I've got more.
Right.
You'll want this deal to keep going beyond the one book." But her,
Well, and she's also the insulation in a way.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
it's something that she does. He doesn't have any hand in it. Oh, if it turns, and whatever, then oh yes, off with her head, burn her at the stake, all that stuff, right?
yeah,
The fact that he gets money from it, who's gonna find out?
Right.
As long as he's careful.
yeah,
He probably gets money from all kinds of things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, the people have moved on from religion and are interested in pleasure, and the joy that reading provides, the
Yeah.
spiritual experience that you will, even
Sure.
that reading is. It's so fun to have a historical fiction narrative explore things where characters then talk about the future, because
Yeah.
we know what's right and what's wrong.
Right. We know
And
where things go.
We know
Yeah.
where things go. So to hear her talk about it in this way, knowing where things do eventually end up going, is fascinating, because obviously this is fiction
Sure.
inspired by history. But this is a fun way of looking at it.
Oh yeah. Also,
Oh.
I just got to say, this feels like such a good, proper end for Novak as a character, given that this is the show where, hey, we introduce main characters and then we kill them off. To have him not necessarily die here, right? But also, like, to have the names of the people that have been killed be brought back up, right? And to have him be the one bringing them back up.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Like there's almost I'm angry for their sake.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, he did not
were,
want Rafal to die.
No.
Like he's like,
no,
you're
these
a
were-
little kid. What
these
are you
were-
doing?
These were good men.
Yep.
These were good men. All of them. They all had something admirable about them. In fact, one of the things that was so cool was how Novak admired every single one of them in their own different ways.
Oh, sure.
Like he saw the good humanity within each of them. And some of them touched him and changed him and changed his humanity.
he was like predating on it and manipulating it, so he had to understand it, right? Like it, you're torturing somebody and it's
One of them he
botany.
didn't. One of them he didn't, though.
Yeah.
One of them he never really did understand,
Yeah.
But, wow. And then, of course, obviously, Yolenta. Which I am very excited for the Draka reveals potentially kind of thing to Novak.
Yeah.
I do think, though, with the amount of episodes left this season, because I believe this is a 25-episode season. Yes, it is.
Wild.
25-episode season means that We are possibly going to get another time skip.
I think we probably will.
I think we'll get to see Draka grown up.
Yeah.
I think that we would then get to see an ancient Novak, basically, like an old, dying Novak.
To have him be the one character through line.
Well, basically that the season would end with him passing away, like in his bed. You know?
Yeah. No, I like that.
And I think that would be a good way
It'd be poetic
to clear this story. But right now we're dealing with heresy.
Yeah.
So who talks in the morning about what could change this story very dramatically.
Yeah, the fact that there's 3, because I could totally see it being just one episode after this, but the fact that there's 3, I'm like, wait, hang on.
Hold up.
Hang on.
Hold up. Like, in some ways I'm worried, but in other ways I'm like, oh, then that means a time skip.
Right, but this also feels like the full 100% win condition victory. So like, what's...
But
yeah.
This is all just a conversation between 3 people in a church at night.
Yep.
In the morning, everything could be different.
Oh, yeah.
So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon to get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel, see if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.